I'm Nick, and this is Kenny. We're the Malt Vault. Strap on.
I could really go for a beer.
Welcome from our 1 week hiatus. Just kidding. You don't know about that yet.
They know.
Oh, they know.
Well,
the guy in 4B, he knows.
if anybody watched, they would know.
They've been informed.
It's like if a podcast doesn't get released in the forest and there's no one there to listen to it. Was it never not released?
Is it still the same forest? Is that what we were talking about?
I think so.
The ship of Akhman Ra.
I'm going to look that up. You guys do this.
I think it's Akhman Ra.
You know, it's funny. Speaking of forest, I was in the forest, and that's where I found these rich old Milwaukee half quarts.
I don't get the forest part.
I don't know. It's just old, and forests are old, and
Oh.
That's true.
parents and grandparents are old.
Rainforest. That's a thing.
The ship of Theseus.
Oh, God.
Theseus, TH?
Theseus.
Thesis?
Maybe related to Dr. Seuss because it looks like the last part of his name.
The ship of Dr. Seussius. So, legend says that not legend, that doesn't make sense. If you replace every part of the ship, is it still the same ship?
Yeah.
What did Theseus say?
I think that was it.
Oh.
No, it was
He
more
just
of a,
proposed some
Yeah.
preposterous thing.
yeah,
And then he died.
It's a paradox.
Nice.
A thought, Nick, it literally says thought experiment. And
Does it really?
By it, I mean Wikipedia.
Good.
Or Oklahoma State University, is a thought experiment that raises the question of whether an object that has all of its components replaced remains fundamentally the same object.
I like how Wikipedia is starting to catch on to us. Use our words. Thought experiment.
Yeah, we coined that.
Just wait until they throw in death DIY.
Sorry.
It's all right. It wouldn't be the same if your phone wasn't buzzing.
Hollywood.
Fan emails.
Old Milwaukee half quart. Pretty cool crest on it. Makes it look cooler than it tastes, in my opinion. But
I'm gonna taste
this is a beer that you would drink after shift work at the steel mill.
Or the dock.
Or the dock, yeah. I'm assuming you like to get docked.
Docked pay. Nothing weird.
No one likes to get docked pay.
We are pro. Are we pro union?
Especially in the Haba.
pro union.
Pro union choice. Right? You should have the choice of a union.
You shouldn't be allowed to purchase this beer if you're under the age of like 63.
Your slave labor, your choice.
That's convenient because I'm the palindrome of that almost. 36. That was disgusting.
Is that a palindrome? Is that what that means?
He said you shouldn't be able to buy this unless you're 63.
Backwards and forwards, that's what palindrome means, right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
A
Okay.
flip.
I don't know. Yeah, I get it. 63. Mm-hmm. Like many beers that we've done a lot of grandpa beers.
Yeah.
Old
you really
man
want to touch base with the our older generation that doesn't actually listen or follow us, but
I think we should.
you really want to tie in that demographic.
I really want to touch our older generation.
Yeah.
Not unlike Walter Cronkite and
They need it. Why
Peter
do we
Jennings.
do so many grandpa beers? Do you think that in 10 years, most of these beers probably won't be around anymore?
I don't know. Maybe it's because, like, you know, if you look at popular culture
average.
right now, we're like recycling a lot of stuff. Like the 90s stuff is really popular now with like younger kids. Maybe we're just trying to be like, maybe we're trying to be like a generation's like, let's go back. It's nostalgic to drink beer that our grandparents drank after they worked 9 to 5 in a coal mill.
A coal mill?
Mine.
Damn, I was about coal mill. That's a thought experiment.
Hold on a second. I got to text Mrs. MVP and tell her to stop moving shit around upstairs.
This is MVP.
She's rearranging the furniture.
Tell her that she should only do the slam balls down in the gym. I think she's laying some flooring up there.
At least you got yourself a Rosie the Riveter. She really is an MVP. She does all of the household work when you get sent to Michigan overnight.
Tess actually texting her being like, she turned the air back on.
Is that?
Or is
Hold
that
on.
the microwave?
We have to pause.
Pause.
I hit the button.
Pause.
Wait, what was that? That was the vacuum. Fuck it. Just keep going. Wait, hold on.
Oh, wait. Should I stop? See that?
Yeah, I saw you reach over your computer. I don't see what happened.
I caught it. This is going to be lost by the end of the day.
Yep.
This is not a private call.
This is our first mobile call.
When she's like, I don't give a fuck about this podcast. I'm trying to fucking sabotage it.
Hey, you're live to tape. I had to tell you that for legal reasons. Can you, if you can not make as much noise, could you do that? I know you're doing all the housework. Okay, thanks. All right, see ya. Oh, she hung up.
Fuck you, sir.
It's like the Key and Peele thing where you're like, yeah, but you said it right. I was like, oh yeah, for sure. I was like,
Seth's text actually said, good job. You're sabotaging the podcast like I asked you to. I won't have to do this ever again.
so since we paused and now we're back.
Wait, are we back?
Yeah, I think we're back.
Okay, so
1933 is when Old Milwaukee was started by the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company.
Oh, Schlitz.
Yeah, Schlitz, which was
Nick,
then
lean into the
sold
mic. There you go.
to Stroh's, and then from Stroh's now to Pabst.
So
So
they're
it's
all
been-
grandpa beers under one roof.
I mean, yeah.
Feeling Schlitzy? Grab a Schlitz.
That makes sense because back in the day, you only had like one bedroom. They all had to sleep together
All the grandpas. But they couldn't tell anybody.
because don't ask,
They,
don't tell.
didn't
wasn't
have Bud Light yet.
repealed.
But like the intro of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory where they're all in the same bed. You know what's going on.
Dude, that grandpa's such a bitch.
Why?
It's an intense
Because he couldn't
game
walk
of footsie.
forever and then he got chocolate and he's like,
That's the original upside down
factory.
pineapple.
yeah.
They were like,
But they were
they were
like,
playing footsie together.
Nick, were you just trying to say upside down pineapple at some point? You're
Yeah.
like, ding, this is it. Doesn't work, but I'm going to say it. Like we texted it last night.
They were the original pineapple party, if you know what I'm saying.
oh, Pineapple
Grandpa
Express.
Josephine with Grandpa Joe. Like what?
Sex Club. It's a swingers club. We name it Pineapple Express. Pineapple Sex Express.
Express.
But we do pineapple with the S in the middle and then Pineapples Express. So it just flows.
It's real deep alliteration.
I join.
Yeah.
I bet you would.
You can't. You're a founder.
Oh, I'm already in.
You're going to be the guy that sits in the desk that just approves application.
Yeah, gold tier memberships.
The Kroger Plus Gold.
Yeah.
Pineapple Express.
What are your thoughts on this beer?
Well, I
Before
tried
I
to
go
look
on
up. I
untapped.
tried to look up the average age of an old Milwaukee beer drinker, and that study apparently hasn't been done yet.
Why don't you look up the average age of an old?
You're the tip of the spear, Kenny.
I will not
We
be the
could
first.
do this ourselves.
I will not be the first person to Google this, but average age of an old person.
It's going to be like 65.
How old is the average old person? 65 or older
Yeah.
is what it says.
I think that we need to.
That's what's called AARP, Kenny.
Someone in society Googled how old is the average old person. I hate.
Do you think we could contact PBR and they could put a little placard on here that says like
Certified by the
certified
grandpa's
by the
board.
AARP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
They get a
should.
discount, like
Maybe-
a 1% senior citizen discount for getting Old Milwaukee.
Well, it's probably already implied. Like I was saying, you can't actually buy this unless you show that card.
Yeah, they need to do like a
How did I get it? I got the half quarts.
grandpa's. We should come up with a board, right? Like a certification process for beer, where we can say like grandpa certified or something, and stamp it on every like beer that was owned by Schlitz at some point.
Yeah. Nick had Dick Neff buy this for him. There's no way you bought this yourself.
It'll just this seal will say you've been dicked.
I don't know.
That's
Grandpa.
fake.
Yeah, that's
Was that a real laugh?
Yes,
Wait,
this is a
hold
real
on. Let's
laugh.
do the Kenny. Adjudicate that laugh. That's Nick.
not
Why
Kenny.
are you doing
That's
that?
not Kenny. Is it funny?
Yeah, it was funny.
He does have a tear in his eye. I think that's legitimate.
Yeah.
That was from the Chipotle. Double white rice.
Fuck you.
Wait,
Wait, why are you saying?
wait.
fuck
Why do
me?
you have a napkin with hot sauce on it to rub in your eyes?
Dude, this podcast is a
Busted.
farce.
You've been had.
Yeah.
Outed.
Well, so I was just curious what you thought of the beer because I personally don't think it's that great. And
Wait. Why did you ask him, but then you started saying stuff?
well, he was like talking to me about how like old people were drinking it, blah 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 blah. Blah. I said, "What are your thoughts on the beer?"
All right, Nick, what are your thoughts on the beer?
My thoughts is that I agree with everybody on Tapped. It's got about 27,000 ratings and it's like a 2.4. So
I agree with all 27,000 of you.
Wait,
I mean-
what are you reading? Untapped. Mine says 51,000. I think there's two different pages.
I'm looking at Old Milwaukee, not light, not best ice.
That one?
Oh boy.
Yeah, what the hell?
Did they put up a fake website?
You have a 2.4, right? 2.46?
Yeah.
Yeah,
With 51,000 views.
What?
I don't know, man.
27,496 ratings is what I have.
Well, Kenny has untapped
Yeah,
premium.
you have 51,000 total people that have drank it. This is just the ratings, my friend.
How much?
The ratings are by the numbers.
Oh.
Yeah.
The ratings are in the computer.
Kenny done fucked up. We're going to leave it up to our viewer, though. Kenny did
Our viewer.
hypothesize whether or not he could continue the Kenny Quickpack name because he's failed to stop there.
I went today.
Yeah, I took you.
Well,
You might have to elaborate on what that means.
People helping people?
I walked in the door first, so just because you drove, I think I took you to Quickback.
Ugh. Tastes like an iron bucket.
So I said, anyways.
It's not that bad. I thought it was gonna be
okay.
worse. I was expecting much worse from the olds.
A little bit of corn.
That's hard working.
Yeah.
It's just a beer.
It's made in a combine.
It's just a beer. It doesn't have anything good or bad.
Like I said, shift work.
4.5%. That's pretty standard for
4.9 is what I have.
a light. Is this an ale? Is that what this is?
No, it's
a
actually,
lager.
See, it's funny. I was pulling this
lager.
up, and I wanted to kind of table this for you guys. It's labeled as a dry lager.
What
The fuck does a dry lager thing is? Because in my opinion, this thing is like, it's a real quagmire. It's very wet.
It's a guy that cuts down trees without lubrication.
Man.
This thing is not dry. This thing is so wet that geese and duck are migrating to the desert.
Lager, a dry lager or dry beer is a lager that is fermented with specially engineered yeasts that have been developed to break down normally unfermentable sugars. So then you get sugars. You can use different kinds of sugars. Sugars give body and flavor to a beer, and when they're absent, like in dry beer, there's virtually no lingering aftertaste. That makes sense. So
The metal that I'm tasting is just the can
as soon as the beer, so as soon as the beer is out of your
palate.
washed out of your mouth, you don't have any taste. It's not a full bodied beer because you don't get any aftertaste.
You know, now that I think about that, that makes a lot of sense.
It does.
But that's still weird to me that something that's wet would be dry.
Like, have you ever drank rubbing alcohol?
I can't say that I have, Kenny.
But
Okay.
you know how you drop rubbing alcohol on a surface to clean it and it dries up immediately? That's what I kind of feel like I'm drinking here.
Oh, yeah.
But
I guess you're right.
It does
that makes
have
a
that
lot
beer
of sense.
Yeah.
It's ephemeral.
Ethereal.
Other E words.
You got to do an E word that ends with AL now.
Enjoy.
Epidural.
Damn.
Dude, that was on point.
That
Damn.
was. I got nothing.
I have 2 daughters, so I get it.
Do they get epidurals?
Actually, Maylee has had an epidural.
Dang.
That was fucked up, Kenny.
What?
Take a lap.
I'm back.
Do a rep for Jesus.
You know what? The craziest part of this beer is that Old Milwaukee kicked off the craft brew revolution. From what I hear just now.
From what you made up?
Yeah. Going off the trend of our previous podcast where we just say every beer.
Kicked off the craft beer revolution in Scotland.
We're really pot committed at this point.
Yeah. Well, beer committed. Our pot podcast isn't going anywhere. Never seem to have motivation.
This beer is shitty as I think it is. I guess I'm probably
You hate it.
I mean, I really don't like it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty easy to please when it comes to beer
And sexually.
But it's a story for another time. But they've won a lot of awards. Like, it's the point where they've listed all of their awards at the Great American Beer Festival. Like 97, I mean, this is going way back, but like in 97, 98, 99, they the Old Milwaukee that we're currently drinking won the bronze, silver, and gold back to back to back years. And then in 2003,
they won all
made
three?
a reappearance.
They won all three?
No,
they
it
just won one of the three.
It won a bronze in 97,
I gotcha.
a silver, and then they said, we're going to come back in 99 right before the millennium and fuck your world up. And they gave us a gold.
With the same recipe.
Yeah, they're like, fuck you. We'll go. Somebody must have regressed because there's no way that the same beer that's been around since 1933 was like.
Well, no, it probably was. Everybody just submitted the same shit and they just had different judges, right?
Yeah.
They're like, we'll come back and change absolutely nothing.
And those judges weren't sober.
And does that make you think
right?
that like how many people are getting paid off? They're like, hey, you like old Milwaukee? Not really. You like Milwaukee?
In
You're sliding a bag of cash to them.
In 1933, was it just called Milwaukee?
It had to have been.
Yeah,
Or
probably.
New
it was
Milwaukee.
It was from the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company, so I don't know. I couldn't find anything that said what it was. To start, it was just a dry lager.
Yeah, they definitely gave the judges $2 bills to like sway their decision.
That was probably pretty important.
It was a kangaroo court for sure because they were competing against PBR.
Kangaroo Court and
Who
Banana
also owned
Republic.
them at that point.
So this is a dry beer. I'm assuming Bud Dry was also a dry
Yeah,
beer.
it must have been a dry beer.
But they pulled that in the 90s.
Yeah,
So maybe dry beers are kind of falling out as
style.
popularity. I mean, you don't see this very often. I've seen it. You'll see it in a 30 pack usually. This is the first time I've seen 16 ounces of it. I got a case once as a gift.
Old Milwaukee Light, the blue label.
Joe, there's just this.
Was it from your brother?
It's from a guy who borrowed my dad's trailer from me.
That's great.
I run a beer scheme with my dad's trailer, apparently.
I love a good beer racket, a trailer racket.
No, maybe he borrowed my lawnmower. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Shout out Mike Laird.
Oh,
He borrowed
name
something
drop.
from me, and
some
it
guy
was a
that we
trailer.
don't know.
It was a trailer because he returned it with the case of beer sitting on it, and he said, "This one's for you." And it was
pretty-
this, and I was like, "Oh, I'll take a free case."
That's
of
a
beer.
nice story.
It's a good lawn mowing beer or working outside beer. It's not like something you'd buy and like sit and do a podcast review about. It's terrible.
Yeah.
That in that aspect, but
One thing that I found funny when I was looking some information up, I'm not going to use the R word.
like haha funny or like
Yeah, you just kicked it. You might want to check it.
it's fine. I'm still in. I'm still in. I think I'm over here.
Oh boy.
It's shot in 3B. 3 beers and it looks good.
The interesting thing that I pulled up when I was looking up information on Old Milwaukee is they have like a nutritional chart, which in and of itself is kind of a fallacy because
Phallic.
yeah.
Yeah.
I throat goat here.
beer chart.
Interesting.
The beer chart's in a phallic. Gotcha.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I lost my train of thought. Other than the fact that there's a nutritional value chart, and it had like 2 subheadings on the chart, and like one of it was like alcohol by volume, and one was alcohol by weight. I'm like, isn't volume and weight the same thing in this area?
We got to call Mr.
Can't
Coulter.
say spectrum. Oops, I just said it.
Coulter. Would you call him first?
The guy with the really long pinky nail.
Show your thumbs right now. Don't be one to talk.
See, they're fine.
Yeah, actually, they do look. We're gonna have to zoom in. I'll zoom in on the camera later.
He's a mutant.
No, they're fine. Look, they're the same size.
What'd you get? Did you get an addition done or what?
I got a thumb augmentation.
You got to stretch.
There's my real thing.
We got to get Katie's fingers on this podcast. You know what I'm saying? She's got mutant hands.
Oh, does
She's
she
missing.
really?
She's missing like these 2 knuckles on both hands, so her fingers are like like this. It's really
It's just a
creepy.
slope.
When she makes a fist, she only
slippery
has these
slope.
2 knuckles, and this is just flat. It's really, I don't know.
She's gonna be pissed when she sees you're diming her out.
Yeah,
Does your wife watch the podcast?
I'll cut this.
no, she hates me.
Same. I think Mrs. MVP is the only one who
She doesn't watch.
love and adorns us. Oh.
No,
No, my wife watches.
Oh, does she?
not
Yeah.
the podcast.
What
though.
does she watch you do? I like how me and Seth both knew that you
So
were
4.5% alcohol. Anyways, kidding.
I just read that in 2011 there was a beer commercial that Will Ferrell was in with Old Milwaukee. That's
What?
all I'm seeing. Yeah, I don't know. I just happened to see that when I was perusing through the information.
Is it available on YouTube or something for these?
Let me Huffington Post. There is a video, and the link does not work, so that's got to be made up. Just kidding. Everything that I said, forget about.
Is Huffington Post? That seems like a thing that's not around anymore.
I think it might have been shit canned.
I think it's called the Huff Post now, and that's still around.
That sounds like a bar.
The Huff Post
Yeah.
sounds like the part of the fence that you would stand by to smoke your weed.
HuffPost,
On a union break.
That'd be the Puff Post.
but is that Huffers the people that used to throw like paint in a bag and breathe it in?
Huffing paint, yeah.
Yeah, so
Ooh,
maybe that's the HuffPost.
What about the Puff Host? That's better.
Yeah, that sounds better. Like
That would be who?
Willie Nelson, Snoop Dogg.
But only if they have you over and invite you in.
Sounds like a cotton candy stand.
They'd be Puff hosting.
It's not like a Joe Biden sniff post.
What's that?
I'll let your imagination wander.
You can't just say.
He invites people over and he just sniffs you.
Oh, I see.
That old fucker.
I got to cut back to the original podcast where Nick's like, I will not get political.
Whoops. I did.
Oops.
I did. Just a little bit.
That's Mr. President to you.
Only because he's finally telling us that what we've always known, that there's aliens.
That's Commandant Biden to you.
Commandant.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
Can we just talk about real...
Yeah,
No.
let's go. Let's jump in.
Man, I sound old. Kids now have the dumbest fucking names.
They've always had dumb names, but yeah, I see what
Like,
you're doing.
I saw an article.
Everything's a virtue.
Got to dye myself out here. I was on
Patience, destiny.
Yahoo News. What is it? Biden's granddaughter's named Navy.
Navy?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Navy, like the color?
I dare somebody to name their kid White.
No.
White Goodman.
That was from a movie. I want real life White, a celebrity.
But yeah,
Like John Powers, the whiskey guy, if he names it.
White Power.
Sorry.
I got to get Mrs. MVP down here and have her read off some of the names that she has in her doctor's office. She's got to read the names out. She can't even pronounce them.
She can't get down here and read us names from the doctor's office. That's a HIPAA violation.
No, just the first name,
These are names.
and then the last name later.
And if they're
Yeah,
that,
but if the first name is super unique, like
you're like, I only know one
EUINIQ.
Obamaniqua, you know?
Obamanique. We can't not be talking about this. So the thing I was talking about, the girl that killed her boyfriend during sex and just got convicted because she cut him up into a bunch of pieces. She like choked him out with a chain, and it was like consensual. And then she admitted that he sort of choked. We don't have to put this in there, but her her last name was Shadestiny. It was Shabusiness.
Shabusiness.
That was her-
Oh, I heard about that
SC.
one. I did hear about Shabusiness.
SCHA business.
that was the last name?
That was her full last name.
And you know what?
No.
She. Do you see her?
No.
I feel like now I have to cut this part.
We should probably cut this whole thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoops.
But okay, so the guy was into it. He's like, yeah, I'm in for the choking part.
He was in.
Hard line at the killing part.
He started coughing up blood. I'm guessing that's where he was out of, like, you express discontent or consent. Your consent ends when
Once you're
your
injured.
coughing up blood begins.
That's when it starts getting going for me.
I've seen the T-shirt. Your consent ends when your coughing up blood begins. And then she said she admitted that she knew it wasn't going well, but she wanted to see what would happen. And then once he was dead, she knew he was dead. She kept going with him for a couple hours.
I like that.
We're going to lose a couple viewers on this out of our 3 viewers.
Oh my God.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
But then,
Meatloaf.
I haven't had enough beer to hear the story yet.
It's not that bad.
she cut him up and meant to take the pieces, but forgot. And then his mom came downstairs because he lived in her basement and found his head in a bucket.
It seems like something you don't forget.
She was, well, I think probably like,
I'm not going to sleep for a week.
yeah.
I would say that if you committed a pretty heinous crime, like you'd be locked in.
Nick's like, as someone who routinely gets choked out in the bedroom, I am completely uncomfortable with
Nick's
this.
got PTSD from this story. He's like, what if she just takes it a little bit too far one time? And I mean, sometimes I cough up blood, but she usually stops.
Kind of like some 85-year-old who's been watching our podcast. He's like, I like old beer. And then he's watching this one and he's like, what the fuck is going on? This podcast took it too far.
I hope we get a written letter. What's your address?
Loosen the chain, honey.
What
Anyways.
the fuck is
Hey,
happening? I mean, on another note, I think I'm a relatively good guy. I give half my money to charity unless she's not working, and then I give it to Destiny.
Oh my God.
Nick, do you have these jokes written down? Like you're like, this podcast, I'm dropping the hooker joke.
No.
I can tie this in. Ready?
Yep.
Speaking of hookers, old Milwaukee got hit with not a lawsuit, but not a boycott even.
Keep going.
Words.
Embargo.
They had a trade embargo.
Union buster.
Some controversy. So some people speaking out because they had I'm looking at the billboard here. But as a sign, I mean, this is pretty recent. I think late 90s. It said Old Milwaukee beer, free girl with every can. And it had like sexy girls like leaning on the beer bottle. That was funny.
Oh, that means buy that beer.
They don't mean hookers. They mean if you drink this beer, girls would
look at a nice beer.
Girls would like you.
Oh, that sucks. I thought it was human trafficking. I'm out.
Yeah. But I don't think that this is sexy.
No. I like the crest on it though. It's like a falcon with it's old M.
It makes me burp.
Yeah, that crest fucks.
Yeah, it does.
This guy beers.
Hey,
we don't know what it fucks yet, but it fucks something.
I'm not letting you guys off the hook on going back to the killing thing real quick.
That's a fish joke.
I need your.
Speaking of fish, I got something to tie that in.
If you had to kill somebody, I need to hear your second top way of getting rid of the body. You can't tell me your best way.
I'm not going to tell you the best way.
Yeah, right. Keep that one to yourself. But if you had to come up with a secondary plan, what's that one going to be?
Pig farm. Like in Snatch, right?
That was going to be, yeah.
All right, Freddy Four Fingers.
Yeah, but I was going to say like a ton of bricks.
That's Nick's name.
Tie him to a ton of bricks.
Because he's got a short
thumb. Lake.
Lake bodies always float.
Or the Pacific Ocean, if I was close to it.
Ocean
bodies.
That's
super deep.
I would probably drown them outside of Martha's Vineyard on this paddle boat.
That'd be comical.
Yeah.
Death on a paddle boat. That's my new book.
That's not, someone did just die. Obama's personal chef was like found floating after he went paddle boating and he'd never been paddle boating before. And you didn't hear this story?
I've never been paddle boating before.
He'd never been paddle boating before, and he self-admittedly couldn't swim, and he went out paddle boating in front of the Obama's house and like Martha's Vineyard, and
that's not tragic.
That's
just stupid.
In 6 feet of water. Don't speak ill of the dead.
We should raise awareness for that and run back like a Lance Armstrong bracelet type.
I would expect that if I couldn't swim and I went and drowned in 6 foot of water, that you would tell people that I was stupid. That would be the only thing to give me any sense of dignity post
coitus.
Would it help if I told people you're stupid before you died in 6 feet of water?
Yeah, he was always dumb. We saw this coming.
He's like, I'm alive. I'm right here.
Okay, I might not be in a week. You never know.
Do you want to go paddleboarding? Can you swim?
I can swim.
All right, let's do something else.
I can't fly, so maybe we'll just go skydive with that parachute.
Have you done this new?
That's about synonymous.
They have this new parachuting where you don't need the parachute.
Speaking of death DIY, Jesus.
You should try it. So,
yeah.
Pig farm for me.
Okay.
What's your second best way to get rid of a
body?
Well,
assuming since this is a completely hypothetical situation, I would be near the Pacific Ocean and I would tie a ton of bricks and drop them because that's like the deepest ocean. You're never going to find that. And by the time it gets down low, the pressure we learned with Ocean Gate, it just imploded. So like your body can't withstand, like the carbon forms of your body cannot support.
That was the Atlantic.
But that was in the Atlantic.
Totally
Pacific's
different.
even deeper.
You drive all the way across. Hold on. So you would drive
hypothetically
all the way.
Speaking, I'm by the Pacific
No,
Ocean.
you're here.
We
have to say that because I
then
could be
I'm
like,
go to Lake
hypothetically
Superior,
speaking,
which is also just as deep
as the Pacific Ocean.
No, it's not, but it's as deep as most of the Atlantic Ocean.
It's as deep as your butthole.
Well, that never stops going. It actually just comes out my mouth and then into infinite air.
Where does it go into the next person, a la Human Centipede?
Wait, Nick, keep going with the carbon thing and pressure.
Yeah.
With Ocean Gate.
Under pressure. Like, if I was ever, like, in a situation where I was, like, going in, like, the Ocean Gate submersible or, like, a submarine, the only song playing in my head is Under Pressure the entire time. Like, under pressure.
All right. Who did it better, Ocean Gate or Watergate?
Ocean.
Yeah, Ocean for sure. They had a fucking N64 controller. They were bee-booping with the...
They were doing down roll B.
Yeah, they're like, oh, God, I forget the cheat code. Look it up. Oh, God, we have no internet.
Yeah, some guy was screen watching, so another guy, like, put a hole in the carbon and was like, fuck this.
He's like, that's a 5/16 hole, but they're going to fucking know.
I didn't realize that their thing was made of carbon fiber. Like, who?
Yeah.
That's silly.
Turned into a tin can and went...
Yikes.
There's another noise for your shorts.
You like making noises in my shorts?
Stop. I can only get so hard.
Picture so much.
I can only get so hard.
It says playing close quarter ring toss
that
over
was
there.
a fake laugh.
What does that mean?
I don't know. You playing ring toss.
Nick, how are you getting a boat to go drop this person off.
That's a lot of work.
You're gonna roll them up in a carpet, take them out. You can be like Aladdin.
Carpet pad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You got to think this out more.
Why are we going going so deep into something that's never going to happen?
Because you want to have a
what she
plan,
said.
a secondary plan in case.
I don't intend to ever kill somebody on purpose.
Exactly. I don't. Mostly just accidents. Manslaughter for you.
If there's accidents.
You think after that movie Snatch came out, like pig farmers were like, God damn it, another dead body.
They're
He
like,
just looks at his fence. He's like, fuck,
we're going to get
this stupid movie. It's not
I
even
was
true.
trying to catch up on work, and now I'm never going to catch up. There's going to be 10 more bodies next week. Is that where you're going with that?
That or I'd probably rent a wood chipper.
I watch. How does it always come back to me like watching an old movie? I watched Fargo last year for the first time.
Yeah, that's daughter party.
At least you've seen Hook at this point.
Yeah, I'm glad you've seen that.
What's
now.
your second? Do you have an answer?
No, I don't have a number one. I can't give it away.
You wouldn't drive to the Pacific Ocean from here with a dead body in your passenger seat?
I do like the company, so that would be nice. On a road trip, you want to have more guys.
Yeah, you want a quiet company. So the best way to keep them alive on your drive.
Like, so you driving or I got the whole thing? Keep them
Oh,
alive?
You got it.
Keep him alive for the drive to the Pacific Ocean. He'd be like, why are we going there? Why are we renting a boat? Why did I sign this paperwork for this life insurance company? Right? I don't know.
Hold on. Did I already say this on a podcast where if you get drawn and quartered, because we're talking about killing people, you should be able to pick your horses. Be like, okay, those ones look good.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
You got to pick the fast ones or the slow ones.
Just the ones that with a lot of torque, a lot of power.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You want it to be quick.
An electric horse is what you need. Instant torque.
So like truck?
Hey, tell us about your golf cart.
I got a golf cart.
Yeah, I know. What are we going to do?
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
What are we gonna
end
do
of
with
conversation.
I don't know. I was thinking we could like if there's a big parade of golf carts like at a golf course, we could just sneak in and no one would know.
That'd be sick.
That's all I'm thinking.
Let's make it street legal.
It doesn't have golf club holders though. It has extra seats.
That's fine. That's more.
Yeah,
people.
a fan actually sent it to me for the podcast. So
You think it could make its way to the Pacific?
Your Patreon page is really paying off.
only if I'm driving.
That was a lot of
You want
peas.
to ride passenger, Nick?
To the Pacific Ocean.
Bring a carpet.
I heard the beaches and the pressure there.
Bring a 8 to 10 foot section of carpet with you.
I heard the beaches at the Pacific are really deep and pressureful. Why not the Atlantic Ocean not deep enough? It's only 13,000 feet or something. You want to go to the Mariana Trench. That's it. You sick bastard.
Yeah, you get a sunset at the Pacific. Nothing like it when you're tossing a body.
That's a new cocktail name. Sunset Body Dump.
Oh, I like that. I thought you meant tossing a body.
Tossing a body.
Sounds like a typical
kinda sexual.
Kenny Saturday night.
Yeah. I don't know how to take that.
Tossing a body.
Pause.
Pause. Cut. How do we cut?
I want to know what Seth thinks of this beer. What would you give this?
He said he liked it.
So you liked it?
Yeah, it's
Put a number on it.
17.
7. Just 7.
Yeah, what are you waiting for?
The best thing that this beer has going for it is that it is a dry beer. So as soon as it's washed out of my mouth, I don't have to taste it anymore.
Yeah, that's a positive and a negative.
Sorry if I'm rocking. I don't have to do it with my hands.
You're in a fold-out chair, not a rocker.
I'm nervous.
I can tell. This is podcast. What is this? 13? 14?
It's well, no, this would be 15. I think. I just put 13. And then we have 14. It's TBD.
It's making me belch.
I've been burping a bunch since I drank this.
This is actually going to be podcast 1. I'm going to go and delete the other ones. We'll start over. Get a clean, fresh start.
What else rhymes with malt?
Smalt.
Fault. Yeah, we'll start a new podcast, The Malt Fault. Sounds exactly the same. The Malt Fault.
I think that's the Marianas Trench was probably
Next to the Malt Fault.
created by a fault.
Probably created equally.
All faults are created equally.
We're going to have a geology podcast next.
Yeah, that's adjacent to history.
Geography? I'm only good at geography jokes. Like the ones that you have to be there for.
It's a good one.
I've said that a lot. No one ever they're like, yeah, you kind of had to be there. And I say, oh, geography joke.
I like that you keep trying though. That's nice.
Well, usually when they're telling me I had to be there, they're also walking away and ignoring me, so that's fine.
I'm almost done with this beer, which means we should probably be almost done with this episode.
Yeah, we got anything else? I mean, it's still for sale for now. Get one while you can, if you want to. This Untapped, I don't trust it. Visit Untapped while you can. It's going out. It says 4.9 alcohol by volume. This can clearly says 4.5 alcohol by volume. So either they're starting to lose business and cutting alcohol out, or Untapped is stupid.
Slipping.
51,000 people have looked at this and no one has said anything. So
They're all old.
Be the
they don't know how
1%.
to type, so they're all like,
say something.
beep, boop, beep, boop.
Yeah, I don't know. It is an old man
What's
beer. If you want to try it, you
Untapped?
can get it cheap. It's just as good. Buy this over a Bud Light for sure.
This six pack of Old Milwaukee and these tall half quarts, not pounders,
$7.
as us youngins would call it, $6.
$6 still. Oh, I'd do that then.
$5.99.
I'm all about cheap beer when I'm like working on something or
It's impressive the cost of cheap beer.
Still maintain.
How many old Milwaukees do you think Dick has housed in his lifetime?
Damn.
My grandfather,
Yeah, Dick.
not much. He prefers Miller Lite, but my dad drank Milwaukee's Best Ice down in the basement when he did photo editing. He would house 6 of those at night
Dude,
at
at least
5.9%. I mean, that'd get you drunk as a skunk.
Is that why they were all out of focus?
Probably.
And he ignored the rule of thirds like an ass.
Yeah.
I remember
Let
Nick
me
and I
put
would be
you
playing.
as a subject right in the center.
What did we play down there when I came over all the time? Would we play
Tell me
FIFA
sticks.
or NHL?
That's for another
NHL.
day. NHL hits.
NHL hits, and then your dad would run upstairs
Uncle Louie.
and you'd look at all the empty Beast Ice cans and you'd be like, remember that?
Yeah.
It didn't happen. I was kidding.
Like, Dad, I love you. And
He's like, whatever. Get the fuck out of my office.
In my life. Sorry.
Not really.
pause.
Pause.
Pause for dramatic effect.
Keep the video rolling though.
Another tear in Nick's eye.
Fade. This one wasn't.
Yeah, cut.
And only this one wasn't hot sauce. That's my Morgan Freeman voice.
This one's fading to black. And not because you're getting choked this time.
So remember, as this video fades, loosen the chain.
All right, we're going to go up and ask Mrs. MVP if that's a fake laugh.
That was fake.
Nick, they're all fake.
No, they're not.